I'm just sharing the screen as well. Give me a minute. I'm just starting up. Can you see my screen? I hope I have shared my screen now. Okay. So what is that we have seen yesterday? Uh, we got into what? Yesterday we were talking about so different forms of network address translation. That's what we have seen yesterday. Now today let's get into a different topic altogether. Before I get into the topics, how many exercises got completed? You have anything pending or you have completed all? Because I'm yet to share the net. All labs got completed or still pending? Oh, okay, okay. How about the others? How about the others? Prashant, Jaykumar, Robin. Oh, sorry, sorry. Yeah. How about the others? Oh, okay, 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 okay. Now let's get into a different topic together. Means all together. Say for example, now I have an organization. Okay, so I don't know whether my whiteboard is working or not. Yeah. Okay. See, what is it I'm trying to say here is I have two departments in my organization. Okay, so I call it as a HR. I also call it as a finance. I have two departments, and I want the traffic of each and every department needs to be separated. We have a couple of ways. See, one of the method which is not at all recommended within an organization is what I'm going to be having a separate set of switches for HR, right, and separate set of switches for my finance department. So by doing this, what is that we can do is we can have a dedicated device, and people whomever is connecting to this HR switch will be part of HR team, right? Members of the finance team, they will get connected to the finance switches, right? So I have in each and every floor, I'll be keeping a separate infrastructure for each and every department. But because of this, what could be happening is, see, every switch is going to be equipped with some set of ports. It could be 24 or it could be 48. So why do I have to go for multiple switches? Because one thing, the users may not be sitting on the same floor, or I'm having more number of users. Assume that you have a couple of users in floor 1 and couple of HR users in floor 2 and couple of HR users in floor 3. One thing you can do is all the way you can roll the cable from each and every HR machine to the one single switch, or you can have switches in each and every floor, and then the switches can be connected back to back, and HR switches can be used to provide connectivity to HR devices. Right, this is one way of doing it. So if I do position a separate switch for each and every floor, so that the HR employees, HR department people can be connected to the HR department network using a cable to the HR switch. This is one way of doing it. But how many HR people are there in each and every floor? Yes. Hello. How about the others? Can rest of the people? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? I think you have to go out and come back. Anyway, I'll stop and share it. Wait, wait, wait. Don't do anything. First of all, I will stop the share and reshare it. Okay, I stopped it. Again, I'm just sharing my screen. Confirm me that you're able to see. If you're able to see, then well and good. If not, you may need to log out and log in. Okay, okay, yeah. No, 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 it's not there, it's not there. But you can ask me, it's not a problem. Ah, those things will not be there. No, 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 it's not there. But we can have the discussion offline. Is there? It's there. It's there. I think I have shared the content already with you guys. Am I not? That is okay. But he was asking for some failover and all. It's there as part of the content. It is there. Uh. Mahesh, the screen is visible for you now. Hello. Okay, fine then. Yeah. So what I was saying that I wanted to connect all the HR department into a separate network, and I wanted to have a separate network for finance department. One of the way I can do this one is what? Keeping a separate set of switches for each and every department. If I do that one, basically what is going to be happening is I might be wasting multiple ports on each and every switch. See, assume that in floor 1 I have a switch with 24 ports, but I have only two HR people, two HR team members. Then I might be wasting more than 20 ports, because probably two ports connecting to the endpoints and one port I might be connecting to the another switch in the first floor, right? So the multiple ports are going to be wasted. The switches are costly devices, right? So obviously I don't want to waste any of the ports. Then what I do? The same logic applies for the finance department as well, but how do I avoid the wastage of interfaces on each and every switches? That's where we have introduced something called as what? A VLAN. Correct? What is the benefit of going for the VLAN? I have a single switch. This switch can be logically sliced into multiple switches. And each and every logical switch, we are calling it as what? A VLAN, with an identification of a number in case of a Cisco. In some of the vendor, we need to have the name. Anyway, we are talking about the Cisco, right? So the switch, a physical hardware switch, is getting logically sliced into multiple switches, and every logical switch will have its own forwarding table, and then accordingly the traffic is going to be forwarded between the members of the same VLAN. And even if you wanted to extend the switch or extend the VLANs across multiple switches, yes, that is also possible by having a special link called as what? Trunk link. That is okay, right? I don't think there would be any confusions on that. Now the same way, I have a router, right? So I have a single router. Now I just wanted to slice this router into multiple routers. Can I do that one? Say, why would we do this one if I have a POP router, see, point of presence router, and which provides direct connectivity to multiple customers, and if these customers are falling in the same IP segment, right? So you cannot have all these routes are being entered into the routing table of a single router. Because of that, you need to have a separate router for providing connectivity for each and every customer. Overlapping IP segments, if it is there, then obviously using a single router you may not be able to collect the routes, and you cannot differentiate which route is meant for which customer. You understand what I'm saying? Same way, if these networks are going to be, can I have two interfaces of a single router associated to the same network without going for BVI? How about now? Hello? How about now? Is that audible? Am I audible? Okay. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll restart it once again. Yeah, I'll do a restart. Just give me 2 minutes, then we can start it up. Is that okay? Or if the audio, if my, hello, am I audible now? Okay, okay. Okay, okay. If the same happens once again, then I'll restart my PC once again. Okay? Right, okay. See, what is that I wanted to do here is, I just wanted to slice a one router into multiple routers. Or, why would I do that one? See, if I have multiple customers are getting connected, I think someone is joining, I don't know who's that. Mahesh. Oh. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is there are multiple customers who wanted to get connected with the service provider, and these customers are running with overlapping IP segment. What I mean to say, and customer A who is running with 10.1.1.0/24, and customer B is also running with 10.1.1.0/24. As a service provider, you have the responsibility of collecting these prefixes and sharing it with other locations of customer A. Same way, you have to share these prefixes to the other locations of customer B. So in one way, what I can do is I can keep a separate router for customer A and separate router for customer B, right? So like this, if I have to provide connectivity to multiple customers, then I'm forced to have multiple routers using which I'll be able to provide connectivity to each and every customer. I'll be able to collect the prefixes of each and every customer, even though it is overlapping IP segment. And I'll be adding something like if you're going for MPLS and all, you take the help of route distinguisher and route target, using which you will be able to differentiate the prefixes, right? Now, one more thing is, if I'm going to be having multiple routers, then think about the amount of space required at the POP. See, point of presence is the place where we will be collecting the routes or providing connectivity to the customer. If I have 10 customers in that place and I'm going to be having a separate router for each and every customer, think about the space required for mounting all these routers. It may be a small device, right? But still you have to position 10 router, point number one. Point number two, for some reason, if you have the connectivity to each and every customer and they are going to be in the same IP segment, is that possible? For example, here, let me say 10.1.100.1. And here, can I configure 10.1.100.2 or 1? 10.1.100.1, obviously it's not going to be happening. How about 10.1.100.2 for the different interface of the same router? Can I configure this? Can I do this? Okay, so overlapping IP segment again. So how do I accommodate this kind of a requirements? Again, you may need to have a different router altogether, right? So this router can have an interface which falls under the same 10.1.100.0 IP segment. It's quite possible, right? Instead of doing all these things, what we can do, a single router can be logically sliced into multiple routing instances. We call them as what? VRFs. Right? So VRF is going to be helping you to logically slice a physical router into multiple routers. Okay. Now, just give me a minute. I'll go for restart and come back once again. Yeah, that's what he's saying, that I'm just going to be restarting it. Don't worry.